To remain a free-to-access service, even in these difficult times, is an achievement that cannot pass by without note. I know you will join with me in expressing gratitude for all those organizations and individuals who have provided generous donations without which the Enfield Talking Newspaper could not survive, including the post office, who sends out the cassettes each week free of charge. A big thank you to all these people. Reaching this important milestone has only been possible thanks again to the tireless work of what must nearly be 3 generations of dedicated Enfield volunteers, some of whom have been involved from the very start and many of whom are here tonight. In a few moments, it will be my pleasure to present Outstanding Achievement Awards to yet another group of volunteers who have each clocked up more than 20 years of service, either as readers, editors, recordists, members of the production team or management committee, and in some cases, a combination of all of those. Before we acknowledge their special contribution, I would like to thank the president of the Enfield Talking Newspaper, Patricia Albert, the chairman, Audrey Jenkins, and the vice chairman, Alan Moore, for helping to make this event possible and such a great success. On behalf of the council and the citizens of the borough, I would like to say how proud we are that Enfield created the first talking newspaper in the country, and how delighted we are that 50 years old is still able to continue this vital work. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
And now we've come to the moment of giving out certificates of outstanding contribution. These people weren't in the first tranche 50 years ago, but nevertheless, it's very, very important to realise how ongoing the contribution of time is. Now this person appears in the minutes book very early on. She's done at least 30 years. She's with us this evening. She takes part in a group and she was secretary at one time. I'd like to call upon Janet Reed to come and collect her certificate. I don't think I can call this person. I was expecting him to be here by 8:30, but it's Dave Foster, and he also was on the same page in the minutes book as Janet. He's done 25 years and started as a young man, and he still comes, and he's hardly ever in all that time missed a recording session, so it's a remarkable performance, and I'm sorry he isn't here to take his certificate. Call upon Robin Bester, who is our editor for the magazine. He's also our treasurer. He's done the sound this evening. A really clever bloke, and we are glad he's on our side. Can we have Robin? The next person we have mentioned several times, it was Tessa Sampson, who has moved away but comes back to do the magazine. She's done 25 years and still works for us. Well done, Tessa. And finally, we must call upon Muriel Arthur. We've heard quite a bit about her. She's a one-off, and it's a remarkable performance of 20-odd years in the production team. Can we have Muriel?
Thank you very much, Your Worship. Finally, it is sometimes difficult to grab the Speaker's attention in the House. Not so here. I'm sure we will welcome a few words from Mr. Dubois. And if Mr. Burrows has arrived, I'm so sorry, I didn't recognise you. And I have to say I didn't use Mr. Dubois' constituency. In no order but alphabetical, Mr. Dubois.
Thank you very much, Alan. I can tell you've had 6 wonderful speakers before you, and thank you, Your Worship, for summing up what I think so many of us feel about this organisation tonight. But I also know that you're tempted by the sandwiches and the drinks in front of you. See, applause, and I haven't finished yet. I'd just like to say 2 things, if I may. I intend to try and find the Prime Minister tomorrow, and I intend to say to him, we're all behind your idea about what society can be like, but guess what? In Enfield, the big society has been here for 50 years, represented by what you've done today. And one of the lovely things about my job, particularly because I don't have any problems like being a minister and having to take responsibility for things, is that during my first year, I have got to know so many wonderful secrets about Enfield, about what this community does. I've been here for 10 years, but each week I come across another fabulous example of community working for community, and I am immensely proud of what you all do. And I thank you very much from the silent majority that are out there, and I'm sure many who do appreciate you. And one final thing, when it comes to newspapers, the relationship between politicians and newspapers is somewhat up and down. So for the most important people here tonight, the listeners, if by any chance there appears a slightly mean story about me, if they ever rubbing themselves with politics, I'm actually quite a nice chap. You can believe those ones and forget the rest, okay? Thank you so much, officers and supporters, for what you do. It's a real pleasure to be here. Thank you very much for everything you do.
Mr. Burrows, I recognise.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you much. Well, it's a great pleasure to be with you and to finish off the speeches. And the great privilege of being able to finish off the speeches is that everything has already been said before me. And I'm very conscious that I am before you and the vol-au-vents and sausage rolls and sandwiches and everything. I'm the only that stands, so I could go on and talking, but you won't appreciate that too much. I'd just like to also say a massive thank you to everyone involved over the 50 years. Going back to 1961, I have to say I don't remember that. I wasn't even a twinkle in my mother's eye. So there are some differences in mental. But that was a time, many years ago, a time I suppose even when Tottenham were close to winning some trophies. But the time... lots happened. I was just thinking as coming, a lot's happened for Enfield over those years. And what is incredible is over the years that it's been faithfully recorded so that all the people of Enfield can hear that, and that obviously includes those people who are blind or partially blind. And that's fantastic, because as Nick was talking about society, and us politicians particularly, we seem like to talk about big society. Society isn't big enough, isn't deep enough, isn't wide enough unless it properly includes us all and includes those with issues around sight. And so it's so good that there is this talking newspaper so that people can properly involve themselves. Now, politicians also, as Nick said, can get smooth and rough ride when it comes to local newspapers. And it has to be said that in recent times, one thing that has also changed is less people actually read a newspaper. Less people read a local newspaper. And so what we have now very much is those of you who are listening to talking newspapers are perhaps one of the most informed and engaged of constituents. And certainly I know that is when constituents come to see me and they tell me about what they've listened to in the newspapers, is that they are often much more engaged than other constituents. And so that's a really wonderful achievement. It's one that's testament to yourselves, to all those countless volunteers. And so, just in conclusion, thank you very much and enjoy your food.
Just one final thing before the food. Incidentally, there is meat, fish and vegetable in front of you. But before that, an unscripted moment, Audrey Jenkins has been chairman for 7 years now. She works unstintingly and very well. And thank you very much, Audrey. Enjoy the food, enjoy the drink, enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you very much indeed for coming along.
Right, thank you. These vegetarians.
Ladies and gentlemen, sorry, just one final thing. Certainly a chapman who is well known to many people here. On behalf of the Merriam Club and Geranium Club, would like to present a bunch of flowers to Audrey. We'll all have that.
Red wine.